In this session, what basically I want to discuss is about strategic human resource management. So, when you talk about strategic human resource management, what do we mean? I think this is one important area for each and every organization that they have to appreciate. It's not a function of the human resource department, but each and every department has to understand what the strategic human resource management is all about. Because at the end of the day, the human resource, they are working in the various departments, and they are not working in the human resource department only. Yeah, you might find that you can have people in marketing, you can have people in operations, you can have people in finance, you might have people in stores, in procurement, among other areas. So what we need to appreciate is what is when we talk about being strategic. I think this is like having a plan on what you want to do in future, for example, or knowing what is it that you're going to do in future. So all these things will come from the strategic plan. So as an organization, you might need to have your strategic plan. So from the strategic plan, you'll be able to come up with your annual work plans. From the annual work plans, you're going to come up with your budget. And now from the budget, you're going to come up with the business plans or small plans for each and every division, for each and every department, and even for each and every section. So what we need to appreciate is to saying, for example, when you have the strategic plan, what is it that you want to achieve maybe in the next 5 years? So from that, you're able to say, okay, for example, the marketing team or the operations, they might want to open new branches, for example. And the marketing team, what kind of marketing strategies are they going to use in future? For example, if they want to, for example, recruit people who have to do maybe a marketing survey, for example, for the products that the organization is doing, then what is important is to know when are they going to do, when are they going to need such kind of staff members. And at the same time, each and every organization has to understand to say, we want to do these things as per our strategic plan in the next financial year. For example, they have to know the staff needs that are required to perform, who are going to perform that particular function, and which the people are going to do that particular function. Do they have the skills, or do we need to hire experts from outside to do as consultants for that particular task that we have put in the strategic plan or in our annual work plan? So you need to understand to say, okay, in the first year, we're going to do ABCD as a department. In the next year, after that, we're going to do ABCD. In the third year, we're going to do ABCD. In the fourth year, we're going to do ABCD. In the fifth year, we're going to do ABCD. But at the end of the day, do you understand the human resource needs for each and every task that you have planned in your strategic plan, to say whether you have got the necessary human resource to perform so that's what we are saying about strategic human resource management. Is coming from your strategic plan, or you are thinking ahead. So you should be able to look at to say, okay, for example, when you are coming up with your budget for the next financial year, you'll be able to say, okay, what are the annual work plans we're going to do next year based on our strategic plan. This is what we had planned to be done in the next financial year. You might have to open a branch, for example, let's say 10 branches, but you might also say, okay, in the first year we'll open 2, in the third year we'll open 3, in the other year we'll open the remaining, and something like that. But now in those departments which you are opening, you might need new staff members, or you want to introduce a new product, for example. You want to introduce a new product, you might need to think of what kind of human resource do we need to fulfill that kind of, do we need to hire new staff members, for example. So you need to look at your skills, what kind of skills you have. So you do what we call skills inventory. You do your skills inventory to see whether you have got the enough so if you don't have the skills that you are supposed to be within the organization, what you need to do is either you might need to wish to promote some employees so that they take up strategic positions. You might need to do recruitments from outside, for example. You might need to wish to train some of the employees so that they're able to they would have an understanding of the new ideas you're bringing, the new products that you want to introduce. So they might need to be trained so that they have to understand. It's not always that you have to hire always new people, but sometimes you might need to train just to capacitate them in terms of the new skills that are required to perform a specific task. So the trainings will be short-term training, but also at the same time long-term training. And at the same time, you might also need to think of to say, whatever we are doing, is it going to have an impact on the staff levels? Maybe we need to reduce the number of staff. So you're able to know, okay, in the third year, we're going to backtrack from some of the services that we provide. So we're going to remove some people. You should be able to know, are we going to retrench or do some redundancies, and have we budgeted for such kind of things, for example? So if we are even to recruit, have you budgeted for such kind of staff members that you need to be recruited? So even if you are to train, have we budgeted for such kind of trainings that you need to train? Do you know the cost implications? So when you come in with a strategic plan, you're able to foretell all these things and be able to do in a professional way. So this is one area which you need to understand, to say that's being strategic. So it always comes from your strategic plan. You understand your strategic plan and what you have planned in the strategic plan, and whatever strategies that you are putting in place. The budget will be speaking to the strategic plan. The departmental work plans will be speaking to the strategic plan. So you'll be able to say, okay, for example, you have planned something that has to be done in this particular quarter. You're able to say at the end of the quarter, have we achieved what we had achieved? Because you have already allocated funds for such kind of activities, but have the activities been done, for example? So this will help you as now an organization to ensure that whatever you're doing is in light of the strategic plan. And at the end of the year, or the midterm review of the strategic plan, or the end of the strategic plan, you have to also to review, and you're able to assess yourself whether you have achieved what you had planned to achieve. But at the end of the day, you need to look at the human resource needs of the organization. Whether you don't need the staff members, you can do retrenchments, redundancies, and all that. Whether you need them, you can be able to recruit or promote them, train them, maintain, motivate them, all these things, so that you drive your organization towards the attainment of the objectives of the organization. So you need to know that you cannot achieve your objectives without using people. People are very, very important, and that's why we're talking about strategic human resource management. You need to know who is going to do what, when, why, how. All those things, you should be able to answer those questions at the end of the day, to ensure that the strategic objectives of the organizations are achieved. I hope you have been able to learn 2-3 things from this session. I know, but these are some of the things in simple terms. This is what I can say. That's being strategic human resource management. You look into the future to see what you have planned to achieve, and how now staff are going to contribute towards that. Do you have the skills, the necessary skills, the competences? If you don't have, you put up plans on how you are going to achieve such kind of objectives, such kind of plans that you have put in place. So thank you so much for watching this video.